Kant denied knowledge for faith. Hey, nerds. Remember, Kant was a 1700s Enlightenment philosopher who wrote about subjects like reason, knowledge, metaphysics, faith, and morality. He famously said, "Thus I had to deny knowledge in order to make room for faith." I've been doing a series on the Cambridge companion to Kant's Critique of Pure Reason. Kant's Critique of Pure Reason is, of course, one of his most seminal works, but very fucking difficult to understand, so companions to books like those are very useful. So, Cambridge Companion to Kant's Critique of Pure Reason gets into this quote. Kant said that he cannot assume the existence of God, freedom, and immortality without the practical use of reason, unless he simultaneously deprived reason of its pretension to extravagant insights. As he said, reason is not all that it's cracked up to be, which is what I talk about a lot, even though it is important in many aspects of life. So, reason is not all it's cracked up to be. That's because, in order for reason to have so much power, it would have to attach itself to principles that only reach to objects of possible experience, to Kant. If these principles were attached to reason and applied to what cannot be an object of possible experience, they would transform it into nothing but an appearance. This would render all practical extensions of reason to be impossible. That's all why Kant denied knowledge to make room for faith. He removed power from reason because he thought that if he applied it to God, freedom, and immortality of the soul, reason would disprove these. Since Kant thought that God, freedom, and the immortality of the soul were vital to human mortality, that's why he denied knowledge to make room for faith. He denied reason because it would disprove what were to him essential aspects of existence and human experience. Kant believed that everything in our experience is finite, limited, and causally determined. To him, these are inevitable facts about objects and experience, determined by conditions of the possibility of experience. These are inevitable facts about how things must appear to us in our experience. However, this is only how objects appear to us. It doesn't describe what they're actually like in relation to our knowledge of them. Basically, objects in reality can appear differently to us than the way they actually are, independent of our observations. We cannot set our observations based on our senses are not objectively correct, right? We don't actually know the truth of what's going on in reality, the full truth, just the way it appears to us. So basically, objects in reality can appear differently to us than the way they actually are, independent of our observations. To Kant, this means that there's room for us to believe about things as they are in themselves, independent of our observations. Essentially, we can believe in the existence of things that we can't see or sense because reality is different from the way it appears to us. But Kant goes further. Not only can we believe in things like God, freedom, and immortality of the soul, which I'd be more convinced of, but not entirely convinced, we are morally required to believe in these things in spite of them being against reason. That's because they're vital aspects of human mortality. So I disagree with his conclusions, but his argument, as usual, is very interesting, as often happens with philosophers. So, to Kant, we're morally required to deny reason and knowledge in order to have faith in God, freedom, and the immortality of the soul.